Welcome to the Monday Morning Wake Up Call with your host, Kerry Ramage, managing broker at Remax Elite, and Heather Holiday, your social marketing nut, talking about hottest real estate topics with a little weekly activity and motivation for the week. Good morning and happy week 2
Right?
of Elevate 2022.
I
That's almost a tongue
know.
twister after might have been a long night for a lot of people.
I love the time change. For me, I need the sun to be able to wake up in the morning. And I love, let me turn my volume up, I think. I love the time change. So it's really good for me, but I know a lot of people hate it.
I hate that it gets dark so early.
I don't love that. I mean, if I'm being honest, but I have a hard time waking up if the sun isn't sunning.
You need one of those alarms that has that light that does that gradual thing for the
Right.
alarm. That's
I have
all
one
need.
of the lights, but I don't have the alarm. So like I would reach over and turn the light on.
Yeah, it's part of the actual
Yeah,
alarm.
I don't
It's
have
like
the
this
combo.
natural sunlight. I always wanted to get one of those for the kids because boy, they were hard to wake up, and I'm just glad I don't have to do that anymore.
Right?
That total backfired when they were kids, like babies, infants. Everyone always said, like, don't tiptoe, be your normal self.
Be your normal self.
But that
Exactly.
totally backfired when my kids would have 3 alarms and still wouldn't wake up to go to school.
Right. I think they just get to an age where they do it because they realize they're adults or they have to. I don't really know.
So between school and jobs, the kids, they do it all on themselves. I don't have to do anything anymore, but there was a long time where that wasn't the case and it was a battle every day. But so we're into week 2.
Your plan. Who did their vision boards?
Who did their vision boards? But we have a little giveaway because what's not fun about giveaways, right? So this is going to be for the winner. We are going to have one of these books, Start with a Win with Adam Contos, shipped to you. So I have names of those we scoured. We went through social and our group for those that actually posted, which was part of the homework, whether you do it in the private group, you put it out there for the public to see, whatever it may be, using the Elevate 2022 hashtag so we can find it. So we have some names here, and the winner is Megan, and I think it's Campion. It's not Champion, no H. So Megan, I will be reaching out to you for an address so we can get a book out to you. I thought this is a great book, especially for business planning.
Yep, you got it right. Megan Campion, she said.
Yay! Awesome.
Alice Wong seems to think she should win. However, I'm not sure she submitted her homework.
I didn't see homework from Miss Ellis.
I have a feeling.
Congratulations. I'm going to go ahead and share our screen so we can get right to it.
Perfect.
Let's do this. So vision boards. Here are this actually Steve posted this with his, and I really loved it. So I had to add it in for today. And it's every flame starts with a spark. Every accomplishment starts with a plan. Every goal starts with a vision. Here's to 2022. I thought that was fantastic. Thank you, Steve, for posting that on there. I just had to make sure to share that. And let's continue on. Here are some of the vision boards I was able to kind of capture and just throw in there. Thank you, everyone. It's really up to you. If you don't do your homework, it doesn't matter to us. It really is going to matter more for you, and it benefits you. So any of the homework is not necessarily, I think it's fun because it's part of that full package. So I can't say it's not fun. It is.
Look at all those vision boards. I can't remember whose this was, but I commented who put the lifetime achievement as a goal. So I thought that was awesome.
Sure.
it was exciting to see all the vision boards, and it's funny. So I did mine, and I switched my screensaver at home, and we've talked about this a couple times where um, when we first started doing vision boards, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be miserable. This is ridiculous. We are not children. We are all successful.
I felt the same way with the poster boards, the magazines, the scissors and pastes and crayons and whatever. I mean, I really thought it like, are we really doing this?
I know.
But I'm telling you, it was the complete game changer. I've been doing this for, 15 years. The vision board itself was a true game changer because, yes, we'll write our stuff down in our book and blah, blah, blah. But that visual every single day, even though I always have my breaking it down part, that's my favorite part of the entire business planning book. That is always on my desk. But the vision board, that visual, and I didn't realize I guess I am a visual person. That was, that made all the difference in the world, as basic and silly as it may have seemed.
So last night, John says to me, do you really believe in that vision board stuff? God, I feel like I live with Leo.
He knows it works. He sees it on there, and I make sure I have the house, it's the family, and he saw that this year probably more than any other year because it was really focusing on the family time.
That's the thing. Like when I look at this past year's 2021's vision board, and I see what I put on there, and we talked about this, you and I, the two things that I didn't get done were the renovation of the bathroom and the renovation of the kitchen. So I'm happy to say that the master bathroom has been demoed, and that will be finished in the next few weeks. And who knows, maybe we will pull it off and get the kitchen demoed before 2022 rolls around, because I got new plans for 2022.
I can't wait to do our master. Like we have kind of like all the pieces. We have a couple more that we just need to go and pick up. I just, we had to wait. So we're waiting for Thanksgiving since he has more time off, because there cannot be any oops or oh craps. Like I need that done in those 4 days because my daughter takes like 2-hour showers, and she has to take them twice a day, like before she goes to work, in between her second job. And then I got my son who's got to take his, he goes to the gym in the morning and at night. Like I do not like sharing my bathroom with, sharing a bathroom whatsoever with the kids. I hate going in that bathroom. Like it just makes me so upset. And I'm like, but I'm not redoing it until they're out of there.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. So here's the thing.
I like the fridge idea.
Yeah.
On the fridge. For me, it is like I have my little office. So it's like right there in my face next to where I sit all day long. The fridge is really great. I think I'm going to make my kids put theirs on the fridge.
Oh, that's funny. It's too late, Steve, because we started with the master bath. But in my house, the master bath is from 1984, so it's not some big showstopper bathroom to begin with. So we're starting with that one. So there you have it. And
mine has has 2 seats. So I don't know if it was like a handicap thing. So it's like you just have this little space in the middle because there's all these seats in there. And I can't fit my dogs, and I don't know how to do it with a hose. And it's not like I can get them in a bathtub because
it
would require me to lift them up, and they're 150 pounds each. So I need my shower where they can just go in there and I can give them a bath.
That's funny. Yeah. So hopefully I have to go pick the tile out. Because I haven't done that yet. Well, I know what I want, but anyway. All right, on to your plan. So what we discussed was, while you're putting your vision board together, is who do you have to be? What do we have to do so that we can have what we want? And that's the thing that I was explaining to John last night. I said, here's the thing. It's not like you create this vision board of unattainable goals and you just look at it and these things fall out of the sky. That's not what this is about. This is about creating a board with your goals and then focusing it on it every day, which is a reminder of what you should be doing and where your focus should be so that you can get to where you want to go. Right? So,
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So dream big, find your future focus, stay accountable, and achieve your goals. And if you can't be accountable to yourself, find yourself an accountability partner. I mean, Barbara Lynn and I, we always try to keep each other accountable. We're not always great at it, but we do. So if you can't keep yourself accountable, find someone you can.
And for me, Leo's definitely my accountability partner. I think because he wants to retire and just work for me. So he's always on me about that.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, I think he wants to start a whole like Sublimation t-shirt tumbler store something. I don't even know. But
there you go.
I've got his office set up in my little she shed with all the Cricut and sub stuff. And I'm like, you got to teach yourself. I don't have time for it. It's all on you, buddy.
Right? Well, and it's funny because on my vision board for this year again, or not again, this is a new one. So the renovations will continue in my current home, which the price has like tripled since I bought it. So I need to do some renovating to make it worth that. I don't know if I'll sell it or if I will just rent it out. But it's to buy a little bit of a bigger house, not too big, with a boat dock. But I'm also very conscious of the fact, again, you and I have talked about this, that all the debt's paid off. There's no debt. Well, my house, but the debt on my house is very little. Now, no more debt. So if I'm going to get a bigger, better house, I will do debt on the house, but that's it. Like, I'm not going to incur any more debt. I'm going to, pay outright for the renovations on the current home. And if I can't pay for it cash, then it's not getting renovated. That's it. So I'm really trying to be mindful. And that debt situation, reaches back to 2008 when the market dropped and, people were short selling or foreclosing or, times were tough for many, many people. So anyway, so that's it. So on to the next. Now that you know what your vision is, it's on to the measure and tracking part, which can be fun. It's a little boring pulling this together.
I don't find it boring at all. I think
Nope.
it blows my mind how many agents aren't tracking to find out where the sources of their business comes from, to know, what to focus more on, what isn't working that they're spending money on. For me, the referral, just the word of mouth, I think that's huge, the measure and tracking. But I'm also like a numbers person. I like doing all the analytics on the website. I mean, I like the numbers, but to me, I think this is super important for agents to know. Knowing your numbers, knowing where your business is coming from is really going to help you when you build out that plan to know what to actually do.
Right. So you're going to print out all your listings and sales from the year. Make a list of where those came from. Was it a referral? Did it come from social? Was it an organic website lead, pay-per-click, Zillow, or some other form of lead coming in? A for sale by owner, an expired, sphere of influence. Make sure you track where all of that stuff. And it's so much easier if you do it all year long. But who does that? I mean, who does that?
I mean, I think as long as we're asking and we know, when you print out that quick form that just kind of lists the addresses of what you've done in the MLS, it's super easy, unless you're doing over 100 transactions, it may not be easy, but usually like you gain those relationships with the people. Hopefully you remember the address with the person and you can write that down. And hopefully those people are going into whatever your CRM is, and you're having that referral source in that as well.
Right.
You should, most of your CRMs are allow you to add a tag, and you should be adding a tag as to where these, where that person came from, so that, it makes it super easy to sort and whatnot. But the easiest way, I think, is just doing that printout, with the addresses and stuff, and just writing it down so you can track that.
Right. And I always find it interesting where my numbers end up. Where my numbers end up. You know, where are they coming from?
And if you can even think about it, knowing the ones that didn't close, or the listings you may not have got, but you went on the appointments for, I think knowing that is also equally important, because it's still like an appointment. It was still referred or online lead or whatnot, to know which ones convert better, if that makes sense. I know, running pay-per-click, I may run several different ads, and I don't really care if I'm paying more per lead, if those are the ones that are actually creating those conversations,
Right.
versus getting Mickey Mouses, because for cheap cost per lead, that I would rather pay more to get a better conversion rate, which is going to be all about the text. And I mean, there's like a science behind it, I think. But
right. Well, and like you said, and looking at the listing appointments you went on that you didn't get, why do you think you didn't get them?
and you have to be honest.
Mm-hmm. And can you improve on that? Or are you glad you didn't get them? I remember this is probably 3 or 4 years ago. I can't remember, and not everybody knows this, but I know this. I hate to say this out loud, but I'll say it. 4 people from our office went on this listing appointment at different times. And this guy hired someone else who did it at a deep discount. And then he fired that person and hired someone else who did it at an even deeper discount. And it's one of those things, like, I went on it. I didn't know anyone else was going on it. But then other people came to me and said, oh, I'm going on a listing agent appointment. I don't remember. One was, can you help me with, I need this for my listing presentation, or I need that. Looking back at that, like, I remember thinking, oh my gosh, thank God. But I do remember this even when I was in the gentleman's house. This guy wants to run the show. This guy thinks he's in charge. This is the guy who probably tells his doctor what kind of medicine he needs.
But WebMD said this.
Right. And I remember, like, thinking at the time, oh my gosh, thank God. Like, thank God, because this guy, it just would have been. And honestly, what's even better is the house didn't sell as quickly as it should have. But so, I mean, are you going on appointments and you're not getting them? And are you okay with that? An agent in my office copied me on a letter they sent to someone recently, that she sent to a seller and said, I'm releasing you for the contract. And she said, because unfortunately, your goals are unrealistic, and this just isn't working. Are we doing some of that stuff where we're not working with people who are draining us of our energy?
Unrealistic.
Yeah, unrealistic, especially in this market. It's a tough market. So
I mean, it's hard because of what people post. I don't think you realize the ramifications of that,
right,
because of what the public perceives. Sold in one day, 1,000 offers, 30,000 over. Well, you post enough of that, what is the public seeing? And they're going to think you're not good or doing what you're supposed to do when the house doesn't sell with multiple offers in 4 hours.
right.
So I think we're not thinking about what we're actually putting out there, that the public is seeing, and now they're completely delusional on what's going. And the market's constantly shifting. I mean, the neighborhood, there's so many factors in it, and
Yep.
Nobody's saying that part. They're just reading what we're putting out there.
Well, and it's even, and like my investor, he said, oh, all of my friends, they're telling me, and they put their listing on, and it's highest and best, 5 offers, 20,000 over. And I said to him, okay, you're going to start telling me the addresses, and I'm going to start following them, because I wonder how much of this is the seller overinflating it as well. And it's funny, because he even had a memory of one of his listings, and he's like, well, we sold this one for this much, and it was this much per square foot. And I looked back at the listing and I said, we didn't sell it for that much. We sold it for 20,000 less than that. So your math is wrong. So,
I've even seen, not recent, but I know that there was, a couple years ago where someone was saying how they listed and sold it, as this luxury listing for, under 30 days. But it was like they took it off the market and just put it back on the MLS, like when they got the contract. So it looked like, but it was on the market for 2 years before they got that. And then they just put it in as a new listing. I think that was before all these new rules. But then that's what they're saying is, sold this, multi-million-dollar home in 15 days. And it's like, no, it was like 18 months.
But and so here's the thing. You have to be realistic with yourself. You have to be realistic with yourself. And it's, even sometimes when people fill out like anonymous surveys and stuff, sometimes people don't even answer those honestly, because they're not realistic with themselves and their own mind. So make sure you're being realistic with yourself when you're looking at some of these things. You're looking at them and say if internet websites is not working for you, stop spending so much energy on it. Don't do it just because that's what everybody else is doing. It may not work for you for whatever reason. I know we have a guy in our market who spends a lot of money so that he's at the top of the Google chain. When people Google, you're not going to be there unless you're spending the money, and is your return on investment on spending that money worth it? That's the importance of tracking.
So going on to the transaction source where we were saying, print out your MLS listings and even the ones that you may not have got that you wanted or something like that. Go through your transactions, whether you had the seller, the buyer, kind of break it down into what we just kind of went over. And here's like a nice little tracking and maybe like what you want based on these last 12 months. And you should know like what's kind of moving forward. Oh, is there someone coming in? Did you not put your
knocking? I forgot to put my sign up.
So you can come over and say hi. But going through and then knowing like, okay, so this is where I want to be. I need to add in this. You have this year, I would go back a couple years if you have not been doing the business planning so that you have 2 years of data and you can actually see
if there's a consistency to it. Are you building on the things that have been successful for you? Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. So then we're going to go to where we're spending our money. Where are you spending your money?
And this is the not so fun part.
And how is it correlating to your business? Are you spending the money? And I'm looking at all the categories. I'm like, oh, I got to get mine together. Are you spending the money and it's not doing anything? Or are you spending the money and it's doing? And some things are unmeasurable. Sometimes
you have to have. I will say, because I just got a new phone and I was trying to figure out how to do something and I found, I don't know, like kind of going through the apps and which ones, and I was kind of reorganizing my apps. And I found where you can get into in your settings, the subscriptions that you're actually paying for.
Oh, really?
I was
for your apps.
By how much I am spending on stuff I didn't even know I was paying for.
Oops.
I probably saved myself $100 a month on stuff. I didn't even know I had the apps, or I don't know. I must have downloaded it and sure, I'll pay to upgrade, or I don't even know. But I was spending, $4 a month, $15 a month, like all these little $3. Most of them were like $3.99.
A year or a month?
A month.
Oh my goodness.
And I don't even know the last time I used them. So I must have been trying to do something and thought it was a good idea to be able to unlock a feature in it. And yeah, sure. I'll remember to go in there and stop that. And I didn't. So make sure as you're going through, I mean, that's probably the biggest part of, the expense, the homework is when you're actually going through, your statements to see what are you paying for. And most of the time I'm paying yearly for anything just because I hate the little stupid monthly that becomes like a bookkeeping nightmare.
Right.
But go through each of these items and I guarantee you, you're going to find something that you're not using and you can use that money for something else.
Right. Right. For sure. For sure. Okay. So now that we figured out how much I really have to do this today. Ugh. How much we are spending on marketing. Now we need to figure out how much we're spending on our business expenses, your dues, your entertainment, your coaching, your communication, which is your phone and your internet, your education, equipment and supplies, your accounting and your CPA. And then there's a bunch of boxes for other. We tried to use general terms, but are you spending money on other things, or can all of your things fit into those categories? I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, what else do I spend money on? Travel. Maybe does travel fall under education, or is it travel? You know what I mean? So,
I guess it depends on what I'm doing.
Right. Exactly. So go through, get all of those
meals. Numbers. I mean, there's always tons of. Is R4 under business entertainment, travel?
I think part of it's under education, maybe a little bit of everything. So do you break it down? I
don't know. I let my bookkeepers figure that all out. That stuff just hurts my brain.
I know. Well, I think I categorize like the hotel is under the hotel, the food is under the food. Although the food might be under the hotel because a lot of times you charge it to the room, but
that makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. So that's the next thing you're going to work on, getting these numbers. And we sent preliminary homework. I don't know if this was part of this was on the preliminary homework.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. So then we're going to do your personal expenses, because that's what it costs you to live. That's what we're working for, So make sure you are getting all of those items: auto insurance, maintenance, car payments, charitable contributions.
And some of those may be under business as well. I mean, part of your gas and, your insurance and my cell phone.
Right.
I kind of have all of that. So, I mean, some of it may be in there, but knowing like what it costs to live, your personal, knowing the business and the marketing part of that. Do you allocate a certain percentage of, anything that you bring in? But it's good to know, like, what does it cost? Just what is my cost of living?
Well, yeah, because that you have to make enough money, especially in this business, to live within your means. And this business, especially when you're a 1099, I was explaining this to my son Gavin yesterday. He got a job working as a cook at Steak and Shake, and I wasn't sure how much he was making. And I said, "Oh, how much are you making an hour?" And he said this number, and he said, he goes, "How much?" Well, let me phrase this right. He says, "Do you make six figures?" And then I answered his question, and then I explained, though, what this business was and how it's a 1099. And so, although I make all of my money, I then have to pay all of my expenses and all of my taxes. And I explained to him that although, what I make may seem like a lot of money, when all is said and done, look, it's still nothing to sneeze at, but and then I gave the whole speech of hard work, and I said, and I ended it with, and I have to make the kind of money I make so I can keep you guys' cars insured.
No kidding. Yes. So, I mean, isn't that the truth? Holy cow. I mean, our insurance went to
the thing I like on this thing is personal savings. Are you saving? And then vacation. Are you working towards vacation? And are you putting money in retirement? Those are three big things.
That's on my vision board, because boy, I kind of suck at that.
Yeah, I've been doing retirement for a while. I will say I had a nice retirement from when I started working at the age of 21. And that got depleted during the burst of the bubble, and having to short sale our house and all of that. So That's funny what Kelsey says. This, I always say this. So Kelsey's, I had fun explaining this to my husband the other day, where when he asks where all the money I made went. I learned a very long time ago. I don't tell anybody what the paycheck is. I mean, I made what people make in a year last week. Okay, on 2 closings, and I'm not saying that to brag. What I'm saying is, when you get those big checks and you deposit them in your bank account, I mean, I know what I have coming up because I track and I plan, but who knows where your next check is coming from? And then you have to pay, you still have to pay the mortgage and the FPL and the car payment and the insurance. I mean, I have 2 teenagers, car insurance. You're paying for all the marketing you've done. You're paying for all the apps. Same with Ellis. Ellis and I have talked about this a lot, right? I learned a long time ago, I don't tell anybody how much my paycheck was. How much? Oh, you just closed that house. That was $850,000. I did. And that's all I say. I'm I mean, not even my boyfriend, not even my mother, because it sounds like a lot of money, but you have to pay taxes. And I pay my taxes quarterly, yeah. And I put money into retirement. And, fun. I have to work better on the savings part, that part. But the way I look at it is I have all that money in. So good. Kelsey did all this tracking the other day so she could show him exactly where all the money goes.
It's never fun to look at that.
No, it's not. So now what's your target take home? This is kind of a new slide for us, so I like this. Somebody asked me the other day, is it new every year what you guys do with business planning? I said, it's not new every year, but I go to a lot of different business planning webinars and stuff so we can learn and get other ideas of things we're not doing. So I like this target take home goals. So what are your total annual expenses? What are your aspirations? And what's your required net revenue? And then the entrepreneur's mantra: it is unacceptable for my business to profit less than blank. So, and we can only decide that for ourselves. How hard do you want to work? And hey, we don't all have to be, the top making the most. It has to be what's comfortable and good for you and your family.
And that was really my thing last year, was not all about the money. It was about the balance.
Right.
And, it wasn't all about, what do I need to live on to be able to do the stuff that I want to do? And I want to be able to do it without killing myself and working, 14 hours a day.
I think COVID, so 2020 prepped us for 2021 and had us all saying, I want to do better with my family time.
Right. So, that was really, it wasn't about the money for me in last year's business planning. It was about the balance.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe that's all great, but it was mostly, not overextending myself. When we moved up here, it was more about kind of like the toys and not having, all this house and, being house poor.
Right.
Don't want to make the house too nice where the kids won't ever leave.
Right.
So it was more about the us time.
Right. Well, and I will say that has me a little nervous for myself about the plan to buy a little bit of a bigger house. But the goal for this is to be on water with a boat dock to add to my fun time. But I don't want to.
I don't want to make. Yeah, when we kept looking, we saw these like basements and had all the game rooms and all. And like, whoa, wait. No. Kids.
Yeah.
Kids are
Bring it back down. Bring it back down.
Yeah. And that was hard because I really like them and it's kind of like your dream home. But I'm like, no, like I would much rather have a lot of land, smaller house,
less to take care of.
Not too nice where the kids aren't going to want to leave and we're going to move in and, start the families at home. No.
Exactly. No. Exactly. So the homework.
And I love it. Obviously, when it comes to doing the numbers, it's really about you. And it's all about you. And hopefully you've kind of done the pre-homework, which will lead you into be able to doing this pretty quickly. But all we're asking is you can do like a funny GIF, you can do a funny meme or anything like that. Use the hashtag Elevate 2022. Not asking you to put your personal expenses and stuff like that out there, but more about the process and stuff like that. So that's where the homework is. And really think about, you have your business, the marketing, your personal, maybe, make sure to add in like what you want to do. Maybe you want to do a fun vacation with the family or go do this or go do that. Make sure to add that in as you're putting, thinking about what your target numbers are for 2022.
Exactly.
Ours was, we wanted a camper and we needed to downsize our camper, yet get a different camper that's more about us and, putting the toys.
Oh, so you downsized your camper?
Yeah, because we had like that ridiculously huge with like the whole kids' room suite with their door and all that. And we downsized to a 35-foot, but it's a toy hauler. So it probably still costs more. But
Gotcha.
It's more about, I still have all I care about is my bathroom in the bedroom, but it's really just an open space because our toys go in it. So
right.
But we didn't, the kids aren't really camping with us and driving around a 44-foot camper on these crazy roads up here is no fun.
Yeah. So, and I like what Janine said. She wants to keep up the efficiency habits that she learned during 2020 during COVID.
And I think we all picked up a lot of stuff that we would have never attempted to do. I know that was like our biggest takeaways at the end of last year is all these different things that, if this is a perfect example, right? This was always an in-house thing. And then COVID hit and it's like, well, we still want to do it. How can we do it? And now we're able to open it up in 19 states, 2 countries where we're able to share this with others. And I like breaking it down into 4 smaller instead of like a full day.
Yeah, I agree. I'm enjoying this, and who knows, maybe if we get back to live, we'll do a live thing again. And maybe we'll do the same thing. We'll do it in just little 2-hour segments.
Yeah. But had COVID never hit, it probably would have never even been a thought. Same thing with the Monday morning wake up show is that it was like we are tired of Zooms. So how can we still add value and do something fun? And everybody always, I think like Janine, like everybody says, it's always the Heather and Kerry show whenever we go somewhere together. So we'll just make it happen. And we'll just figure it out as we go. And it's been fun. 2 years now. So
I know.
So I agree 100% with what Janine said is I think we all learned and had so many takeaways because of what we all went through.
Yeah. I think in an odd way, this whole COVID thing, it's been miserable, but I think it's maybe what we needed to kind of get back to ourselves, get back to spending time with family, get back to priorities of family and friends and working on yourself.
Yeah. And there's a lot of good stuff that came from just learning lessons, but
for
sure. So your homework, expenses, it's the not so fun thing to do, but it's so important. You have to know your numbers to be able to, and we'll be able to go into more next week, kind of building blocks of what we're doing. Make sure to post a funny GIF, meme, whatever it may be as you're going through this process, tagging Elevate 2022 for a chance to win next week as we begin week 3. And I think that's about it. So until next week, wake up, kick ass, and repeat. And we'll see you guys later.
Bye-bye.